episode 2 of the Growth Gathering. I'm Jouleen.
Hi, and I'm Shelbi.
And we are so excited you're here. And so this week is all about protecting your why.
Yes, so if you haven't caught up, last week we talked about why your why is important and how do we get to, like Jouleen called it, that gutty why. And so you got to go back and listen to that because that's for sure like prerequisite to this week's topic because we got to know what we're fighting for. We got to know what we're going to protect because today we're going to dive into like how do we protect this baby? How do we like literally hold on for dear life? Yeah. And we're going to get into it.
So last week, we dove deep into what is it, not just the shallow surface level, but really deep down, right? Yeah. There's things where it's like, I want to fit in this cute outfit or I want to, I'm going on a trip, so I want to feel confident on the beach or whatever it is, but then we get real gutty. And we get deep with it. And so there's something that's really at the inner core of what it is that you're creating in your health, in your life, in your parenting, in your marriage, whatever that might look like. But just health-wise, we're going to protect it. And here's the thing. I want you to hear this, is that if you don't protect your why, life is going to steal it. It's going to steal it.
Come on.
And so busyness, right, triggers the idea that like, oh, I missed that meal. It's okay. Or I didn't prep for the week. It's okay, right? Because I'm busy. Parenting will sometimes have us like, oh, let me just grab these couple snacks because they're not finishing their food and I don't want to waste it. And so life just starts taking little pieces of what it is that you're trying to create because we're not protecting it along the way. What's another example of just if we lose sight?
I think that just the mundane of life causes us to lose sight of it because we will literally, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And so especially if you're a mom, I know dads struggle with this too, but especially if you're a mom, it's like we tend to put everything before ourselves.
Yeah.
And it feels honorable, but the truth is it's not honoring your future self. Every one of us would probably agree that we became a better mother when we got healthy, or if you're on this journey, you're starting to see how it's improving every part of your life. Fathers too, like everything starts to improve. But then we somehow start to believe this lie that we have to play small in order to serve people. But the truth is we do not have to play small. We will serve people best when we are putting that oxygen mask on ourselves first. Yeah. And so that's what we're going to talk about is like how it's just so crucial to protect this thing because I loved what you said. If we don't protect it, life will steal it. Yeah. And it just, and not in like a necessarily evil way. It just is life. And I think it is a natural part of us to want to serve and put everything before ourselves. But that's what we're not about, right? Because we are literally, growth happens when we lean into the hard things. And while this can be hard, it can also be fun. And so some really cool ways that I think we can actually lean into, like practical tips to start protecting your why is number one, like it's got to be visual. It's got to be in your face. Like that reticular activating system, right? You know, the whole like if
the red car.
Yes. How many red cars did you see on the way here? Well, I don't know. But if we said, hey, let's go count it up and tell each other tomorrow, then we would know exactly. Mm-hmm. And so if we're looking for it, we will always find what we're looking for. Yeah. We will always find what we're looking for. So we got to be looking for ways to prove our why right. And so we've got to put it out in front of us. So that might look like, you had great suggestions last episode about, putting it on your fridge. Or I said, like, put it on them box of Oreos.
Oreos that are not for you.
Or for me, like those Takis. Anyway, these are like our Achilles heel. But I think
on your phone. Yes. Where it's
bathroom
visible.
Mirror is a great place. I've seen people do it. I had one of my clients, she drove for a living. Like she always had to drive an hour to go see clients and things like that. And so she put hers literally in the middle of her steering wheel. And she had it right there. And it was paired with a picture. So that's another thing to do. So since you did the exercise last week of deciding and figuring out what's that gutty why, find an image. Something that represents that thing. So for me, I have this image. I wish I could just show it to you real quick. Maybe like post edit. I'll be able to put it. But I have this picture. It's like a picture of a tree and my kids are like the branches. I have their photos because to me, it speaks to this deep rooted thing I want to accomplish with my kids in the way I live my life. Yeah. I know it is creating deep roots in them. And so that image represents my deep why. Yeah. And so I don't know. What do you think? What would be yours?
Ooh, I feel like even just a family photo of us having fun and being joyful, because that's what I desire most. And when I'm not choosing myself, when I'm letting life steal my why, and I may turn to emotional eating, or I may turn to just skipping meals or not prepping, I'm drained. I'm drained. And so my energy is physically lower. So then as a mom, as a wife, as a friend, I am like levels down than the person who I actually desire to be, right? And so even in just like a conversation, like, yeah, Shelby, let's grab coffee. Am I really focused on that conversation, or is my energy so low that I can't even completely pay attention or reciprocate the same energy that she has? And I don't desire that. I don't want to ever show up as a less lowered, levels lower person of myself than I know that I can be, right? So yeah, just protecting it and knowing and keeping it at the forefront is so important.
Yes, and I think the other thing we have to do, so 3 ways we can really protect our why. Visualize it. It's got to be visual. We got to keep it on the forefront of our mind, right? I think the second way is a tool that we teach clients: stop, challenge, choose. And it's this concept of, we have a whole teaching on it. I'm sure we'll do an episode on it, but it's this just idea. It came from Dr. Anderson, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. Shout out. That'd be so cool if he was watching this. Last week we did a shout out to
Dean Graziasi.
Yeah, hey Dean, like he's my buddy, first name basis. Hey Dean. Hey Dr. Anderson, if you're watching, shout out to Dr. A, because he wrote this incredible free ebook that we can link below. But it's about stopping in the moment. We can get ourselves out of our emotional brain, because that's where we make the crazy decisions. That's where we're like, yeah, I just one little bite, one little drink, because y'all know one margarita leads to the whole thing of chips and salsa. One little Oreo, which leads to the whole sleeve. One little Takis chip, that's my Achilles heel, leads to the whole.
Open the bag and not eat the whole
bag. Tell me why I'm taking that whole bag to the couch with me and gonna binge watch some TV.
Have one.
Yes. Tell me why. And so y'all know, your Achilles heel. The one little slip, one little, you take, you give it an inch, it'll take a mile kind of thing. That's in your emotional brain. So you can kind of stop, get yourself out of that place. And then we challenge that moment, challenge that moment against this deep. That's why step 1 is so important. Last episode, you got to know that deep gutty why. And so when I'm in a place where I need to constantly protect this why, and there's different seasons that you'll find yourself needing to work harder. Yeah. Like you were saying that you're not going to always have to work so hard at this. It's like a muscle. I think you described it like a muscle.
Yeah, it's like a muscle. So stop, challenge, choose. At first you might find yourself doing it like 50 times in the day of like, why am I always, and it can be discouraging, right? Our negative self-talk comes out and says, you should be better at this. You should be able, you shouldn't have to challenge yourself all the time. Right. Seriously, right? But the more you practice,
first of all, why does our inner self sound so whiny? Like,
are you really that way? That's what she sounds
that's what your inner self sounds like. She's rude. Sorry.
But truly is, at first you'll find yourself doing it a lot.
Yes.
And it's okay. Give yourself permission and really be proud of yourself of like, wow, I challenged myself so many times today and I am killing it, right? But then you'll find it becoming more of a habit to not even have to stop and challenge yourself. And so they become fewer and farther between, because your core is strengthening. It's like a muscle that's literally getting stronger. And so you're not as tempted when it's around, or you are able to say no without having to like question it, and the whiny girl comes out of like, oh, but I want it, but you can't have it, but I want it, right? And it's like, then you're able to get to a place where you're just like, you know what, that's not for me today, thanks though. And no one questions you in it, because you don't have the self-doubt that you once had, because you're stronger through exercising it over and over and over.
I'm reminded of a story that we heard in our last growth gathering of one of our fellow coaches that is in this community. And she was celebrating the fact that when she's in an emotional state, her go-to is to take advantage of, spontaneous opportunities to have extra candy and sugar and, sweet treats. And she was with her mom driving through the drive-thru, and it would have been so easy with all the things she'd gone through. Her old self would have said, I just want the Frosty, right? She was going to get something sweet. And instead she stopped, got out of her emotional state, and was like, no, I deserve better. She was already down like 4 pounds that week, and was like, I've come so far. I did not come this far to just come this far. And she challenged. That's the thing. So you stop. You have to pause. And like literally sometimes I remember a moment where I had to literally like put the Takis bag down and walk away from the living room. I had to literally stop and go, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then challenge the moment. So she had said, I've come too far. I'm not going to do this. And then choose. So stop, challenge, choose, gets you out of the emotional state and into a place where you can make a decision and protect and fight for that why. So we have to remind ourselves of the deep, gutty why. So the 3 things you can do is keep it visual, keep it in front of you, stop, challenge, choose. And then the 3rd thing, community. Y'all, we talk about this is why we have our growth gathering, because I've just never done anything significant with my life without some kind of accountability and community. And you need that person.
Right community.
That's true. Oh, girl, you better preach right now.
Because I've had people that are like, just forget it. Treat yourself. You had a hard day, right? And they're the life that's stealing your why, that's stealing what it is that you desire. And so it's the right community. And I'm not saying like go cut people out of your life, but surround yourself.
You might need to. Can you hear me when I say that? You might need to. Like in love, because the truth is, I've never met anybody that was somewhere better than me. Financially, spiritually, physically. I've never met someone that was better than me, a place, not better, right? You know what I mean? Not in a competition way, but a place that I desire to be. Yeah. Right? I've never met someone who was in a place I desired to be that didn't try to pull me up there with them.
Yeah.
The only people that ever tried to bring me down were people that were doing worse than me, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in their marriages. Yeah. Listen, I mean, get together with a group of gals that just everybody's talking about their husbands. It's all because they all are not in a place in their marriage that I desire to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that group. Yeah. I'm just being honest. And so
you very particular about when and how you spend time with that group. But yeah. Finding people
She's being kind. I'm saying you might need to just cut them out of your life. I mean, just be honest, right? Like if you're like, well, then I'd have no one. Well, listen, you've got the growth gathering. Start there. This is why we created this community, because we all need a place that is going to cause us to desire to take steps towards our future self. Yeah. If you're the group that you're finding yourself spending the majority of your time with is constantly causing you to put your why on the back burner or not even think about. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Has your best friend ever asked you what deeply motivates you to be a better person? Mine has. I hope you have the kind of person in your life. If you don't, we're asking you that right now. Yeah. What is that deep thing that causes you to want to be a better person? And in this community, we're challenging that in you to say, girl, dude, run after it with everything in you. Protect it with everything in you. And so I'm just saying that's the 3rd and final thing that I think we need to protect this why is keep it visual, challenge, stop, challenge, choose in those moments. That's just putting a practical plan around the moments that cause you to want to slip up, and then stay plugged into a community that is going to keep you thinking about that why. It's going to be challenging. It's going to help you grow through that.
Well, and some things really, I guess I would say homework, but also just things to reflect on. Like if you're walking, keep walking for a couple extra minutes. If you're folding laundry, like keep it silent for just a couple extra minutes and really think about what are the like parts of life that start to steal your why, that start to take away what it is that you're trying to create so much. Are there people around you? Who is that? Like put a name to who it is. And start to really recognize, how can I change that? How can I shift my relationship with that person? Maybe I don't need to go out to eat with them, but you know, they can come over to my house where it's my safe place and change that conversation. If it's how you prep your week, look at your calendar and really challenge yourself. Okay, where do the triggers pop up so that I can start putting guardrails around it, because your why and what it is that you're creating is way too important for you to let someone or something steal it away. Yep. It is. And sometimes we don't even recognize it, where we can't get rid of stress in our life, right? But we can set some boundaries and how it affects you. And so take these next few minutes and really challenge yourself. When is it that I get most triggered and I get off track? Who is it that I'm around that maybe triggers that or gets me off track? Or what is it that I'm not putting in place that I need to so that I don't get off track, right? Because what you're creating is valuable.
So good. Yes. So that's it. We got to protect our why, and be sure to come back next week, because we're going to talk about, and we know what our why is, right? We did that last week. This week we're talking about how to protect it. And next week we're going to say, okay, we know how to guard this, but how do we live it out?
Live it out.
How do we take all this? We know what it is. We know how to protect it. Now, how do we use it to literally help us grow into the person we desire to be? So I can't wait to, get going. But truly, until then,
keep growing,
keep connecting. That's not it.
Until then,
what is it? Gathering.
Growth, gathering. Hello.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. You ready?
Yeah.
Take 2. Okay, so until then,
keep growing,
keep gathering, and we'll see you soon.